So how do you help people get income and credit ready? So somebody, and I've gotten a few calls like this lately, they're looking, to buy, it's something that they hadn't considered that they could afford before, but they want to get into it now. They're working on their savings, they're working on their income, and they feel like it's maybe a year or so out. How would you help that person get ready?
Very good question. And this is probably what I love doing the most. I think everyone should at some point consider being a homeowner. It's always better to own than to rent.
Absolutely.
I really take pride and take pleasure in helping people planning over time and moving from renting to owning.
Mm.
The things to consider, first thing, you have to know what your income is and what your qualifying amount will be based on your income, because you can't buy over what your income can qualify you for.
Mhm.
So reach out to a mortgage broker and find out what your qualifying mortgage amount is.
Currently, based on your current
Currently
income.
based on your current income. I've known people that went out and got a part-time job so they can earn more for down payment and also boost their income.
Mm.
Just know that if you want to use a part-time job as a part of your income to qualify, you need to be doing that job for a minimum of 2 years, because
Mm.
the bank will take an average of 2 years.
Mm.
Um, in terms of credit, very, very important. There's no credit that cannot be fixed. It may take a little longer depending on how challenged it is at the moment to get to where you want to go, but all credit situations can be remedied. So the first thing to consider is make sure your credit cards or your debts are not maxed.
Mm.
Mainly revolving debts, because if it's a loan, all you can do is continue to pay monthly until you pay it off. But if it's revolving debt, like a credit card or a line of credit, make sure it's not maxed out. Make sure it's not more than half the limit. Meaning that if you have a limit of 5,000, don't go over 2,500. Never go over your limit. So if your limit is 5,000, never go to 5,500.
Mhm.
Nothing hurts your score more than going over your limit.
Mm.
It hurts your score much more than just being maxed. So never ever go over your limit. And another thing I find people don't understand, they'll say to me that I made a payment last week of 300, or what you're telling me is not correct. The banks don't care what your balance is at the time you apply. They go only by what's showing on the credit report. And the credit report updates every 30 days on the first of the month. So you need to pay your credit card at least 5 days before the due date of the credit card in order for it to show up on the credit report for the next cycle.
Mm.
These are the important things about consulting a mortgage broker prior to buying, because we would be able to let you know that if you need to pay down your cards, do it at least 2 months in advance. So you have at least two credit cycles to be absolutely sure that the payment you made is reflecting on your credit file.
Mm.
And um, not being maxed and not being over your limit really um, drives your score up. Delinquencies, collections, if there are things that are outstanding like R9s or collections that you totally ignore and have not paid, you will not get a mortgage with them outstanding. You're going to have to pay them. If there's zero, you will get a mortgage. If they're unpaid, the bank is going to demand that they're paid before that mortgage gets approved. Now, if you have delinquencies like R9s or collections on your credit report, you may not be able to go to an A lender. So it means that you may have to try to come up with 20% down payment. So this is a lot to talk about on a call like this, but
Mhm.
these are the important things about consulting with a mortgage broker prior to buying, so that you can ensure that you are aligned and ready to purchase.
Right. And what I find too is people have an idea about when they want to buy, but after having a really serious conversation, they're able to plan that timeline more realistically based on what they need to have put in place to get there. And that's the whole idea. As you said, Pauline, we are very passionate about getting people transitioning from into home ownership from whatever path they come from. So the sooner you start, the better.